This is Charlie Parsons for Boxing Social in association with William Hill and Empire Fight Store. Eddie, red carpet settings, little bit of D&G. Oh, D&G, thanks for the hookup.
Dolce & Gabbana, actually, it's not D&G. We've got a bit of a problem with this interview, Parsons. I won't lie to you. If you look behind you, what do you see?
A very sexy man in the mirror.
Exactly.
Myself.
So it's very difficult to talk to you when I can see myself in the mirror looking this unbelievable.
Well, really?
You, on the other hand, Parsons, have turned up tonight. I don't mind the jumper, Stone Island. I don't mind it. I don't know what the trousers are. Looks like you've just been in safari in Cape Town. You have on your shoes, on your feet, sorry, a pair of wallabies. The last time I saw wallabies, my sister brought a lilac pair when she was 16. That was 30 years ago. Are you telling me that wallabies are now back in?
You know what? It's sort of become a bit of a thing now. If I want to make it back in, then the trend follows.
So you are putting wallabies back on the map. So you're telling me that if I decide over the Easter period to have a nice few days in the Cotswolds, people are going to be walking around there with their wallabies on?
And they'll be going because of Parsons.
Yeah.
How are you, mate? Excited?
Absolutely unbelievable. I was excited until I went downstairs and saw Jermaine Franklin having his photos taken, and all of a sudden he's got an 8-pack. I mean, when he boxed Dillian Whyte, he had a belly on him. I've just seen him with his kit off. He's absolutely ripped to shreds. I don't know what's happened. He says he's lost 24 pounds, and I don't know if it's going to help him or hinder him. Hopefully the latter, because we need AJ to knock him out in style on Saturday night.
I was going to say, potentially could be a bit of a hindrance. We know his whole career he's come in, not heavy as such, but sort of heavier than perhaps if he's lost 20 pounds. Will he be used to fighting at this weight? Perhaps not.
No, I think probably just demotivated in his career, never really thinking he's going to get that big fight. I think he had the Dillian Whyte fight. I don't think he stopped training since the Dillian Whyte fight. And, you know, he's telling everybody he's going to knock him the fuck out. He's speaking with a lot of confidence.
I'm quite interested. We've seen some comments, some leaks that have come out in the last 24 hours that Franklin has filed a lawsuit against Dimitri Salita claiming exploitive, aggressive and unethical business practices. What have you heard of this?
Absolutely nothing other than, I think, maybe the leak that you saw. I've no idea. Dimitri Salita is in town. He's coming to the press conference. He's coming to the fight. Nothing to do with my camp. Nothing to do with the fight. So, you know, just really standard gossip from you, Parsons.
I know, but obviously if I see that, I've got to report on it, right?
Oh, especially being such an important reporter in the world of boxing, and especially with the integrity that you carry within the game. Yeah, absolutely. You have to. You have the duty to report on that, Parsons. Yes, absolutely.
Well, I will continue asking on that. For that to come out on Fight Week of Jermaine Franklin, biggest fight of his career, must be leaving a bit of uproar. He's going to have a lot of questions about it. Perhaps.
Especially from the likes of yourself. So.
Funny, mate, funny. Could you answer the question in hand?
Ooh. The answer to your question is, this is a guy, he punches people in the face for a living. I really don't think he's going to be bothered by getting interrogated by you. Especially a geezer from the Cotswolds with wallabies on.
Not from the Cotswolds, but I do have wallabies.
You said that Cirencester, in your own words, is the capital of the Cotswolds. But you're not from the Cotswolds.
No, I moved there at 15.
So you're from the Cotswolds?
Okay. I'm only young now. I'm a young pup, Edward. What if I move to Brentwood next year?
One thing is for sure, Parsons. One of the toughest, slickest guys in the Cotswolds.
Yeah, man. My G, my cousin. Right.
Sorry?
Don't worry. That was you that started that. Should we actually do a bit of boxing interview and chat?
Another leak. Go on, tell me about
No. Well, you say Salita will be involved this week. Is that a definite? Have you had correspondence with his team since the leaks have come out?
Yeah. I mean, it's nothing to do with me. I've no idea, but yes, Dimitri Salita will be here. He'll be at the press conference. I think he might even be here tonight. If he is, you can ask him.
I will ask him. Eddie, I was quite interested. Obviously, I said to you about Jermaine Franklin being rather vocal. I've seen even more stuff from stuff that he's been doing with DAZN. He's called Anthony Joshua a 6 out of 10. Said that when he beat Klitschko, it was an aged and withered Klitschko, and that if that was a prime Klitschko, he wouldn't have done as well. That he's going to knock Anthony Joshua out. We've never seen Jermaine as a big talker. In the Dillian Whyte build-up, Salita did a lot of the talking for him. Are you surprised by some of these remarks?
Maybe it's trying to get into AJ's head. Maybe it's trying to unsettle him. Maybe it's there to put some doubt in him. maybe he's just actually coming into the fight with more confidence. You know, maybe he didn't believe in himself as much before the Dillian Whyte fight. We know he's in great shape. One for Jermaine Franklin. I mean, you know, when you talk about AJ being a 6 out of 10, as AJ said, let's see how he handles a 6 out of 10 on Saturday night, because he's going to get hit very hard and very fast, straight down the pipe.
Obviously, Anthony Joshua linking up with Derek James for this fight. Do you think we're going to see different implementations? We sort of, the AJ that I grew up on as such was this sort of knockout wrecking ball machine, not funny, didn't laugh. Did have a bit of a smile on my face though, at you mugging me off. Do you think we maybe see this AJ that tries to impose himself more again?
I hope so. I mean, look, I think all that's happened is when AJ started his career, he was not a naive fighter, but he was just a fearless fighter who didn't think about who he was fighting or what was coming back. He just realised over time he needed to improve. He needed to improve his defence. He couldn't just have fights like he was having against the Klitschko's, like week in, week out, because your career is going to last like 3 or 4 years. So, but as I said to him the other week, you do realise that when you let your hands go, you put the fear of Christ into people. And if he lets Jermaine Franklin get confident in this fight, if he lets him get into the fight, it's going to be a very long night. He needs to impose himself early, stick that jab in his face, hit him down the pipe with a right hand, and make him realise how strong, make him feel that 6 out of 10 and see how he likes it.
A lot was said after the Ruiz defeat about AJ maybe being too cautious to engage in some of the gung-ho actions he would have had in the years previously. Does he maybe now have to get that mental block, whether there is one or not, but start imposing?
To instructions. You know, the instructions in the Andy Ruiz fight, box his head off. When he knows what to do and how to do it, he's very difficult to beat. And I feel like in the first Usyk fight, he just didn't know, not what to do, but he didn't believe in the game plan or believe he could execute it. Second fight, more so, still not enough. Hopefully now Derek James has got the tactics right with him, he's implemented it in training him, and he can go out and say to him, right, do your job. And when AJ boxes to instructions, he's very dangerous. And it's not just a case of, yeah, just go out there and let your hands go, mate. Like there's a strategy in every fight, and I don't know what the strategy is in this fight. If you're asking me, the strategy is stick him on the end of the jab, hit him with a right hand, and go in 2 phases and beat the shit out of him.
What is your prediction for this fight?
Anthony Joshua stoppage between rounds 7 and 9.
Just finally from me, what sort of, well not finally from me, but finally on this topic, what sort of weight do you believe that we'll see Anthony Joshua come in at?
He looked fucking massive when I saw him in Dallas. Massive. Like in a good way, not like, you know, he hasn't, I don't think he's done as much strength or weights in this. I think it's just all been boxing. But I expect him to be heavy. What did he weigh in his last fight against Usyk? 16 stone 9 maybe? So I think he'll be heavier than the Usyk fight.
Reports today suggest that Eubank Jr versus Benn is the next fight. I know you've sort of said to me on Friday that it will be an announcement after Anthony Joshua fight week. Next week, is that still the plan, or do you think we could get something announced this week now?
It's likely to come next week. I think with AJ and everything, we'll announce Conor next week. Eubank, no, you know, we're certainly not signing an agreement. We're talking.
Is he the front runner now?
I would like him. I would like it to be the Eubank. I'm seeing Kell Brook tomorrow to talk about a number of things. Of course, Manny Pacquiao wants that fight, but you know, I've made no secret. I think the Eubank fight is the one to make.
I think in a weird way, this is one of the not the best things that's happened to Conor, obviously, because there would have been a lot of mental turmoil that's come with it. But everyone wants to fight him now. Everyone wants to.
Everybody. I mean, we are, like I said, you know, I know we joke about the US stuff, but we have had 3 or 4 US fighters. We've had Manny Pacquiao on all the time. We've had Kell Brook on all the time. Eubank, I don't know whether he wants to fight him or doesn't, but you know, he's not short of options.
That fight, if it is Eubank, now being aimed at 160?
Yes, we wouldn't be looking to have a catch weight for that fight.
Sean Gibbons has put up, and I don't know whether this is just straight from the article or whatever, but vid of, and this is word for word what the tweet was, vid of Hearn slamming boxers being allowed to fight after failed drugs test go viral after he saved Benn versus Eubank. Sean Gibbons tweeted that.
Yeah, well, they're referring to a video of about 8 years ago about VADA testing. So Sean Gibbons is, I haven't seen it, Sean Gibbons is all over the Manny Pacquiao fight, but maybe he realises it might not happen. So, I don't know.
He put out another tweet, and it was Eubank-Benn with Manny Pacquiao in the background. Could this perhaps maybe be? I mean, obviously not some WWE fatal three-way madness, but like, who knows? Like, could the winner here, if it is Eubank-Benn, fight Pacquiao, and then I don't know.
No, I don't think. Look, everybody, a lot of people want to fight Manny Pacquiao. You know, a lot of people want to fight Manny Pacquiao. So we'll have to see.
Eddie, just carrying on the Benn front. Obviously, you say about Sean Gibbons and we've got a Gad involved.
Yeah, no, the way you are at the moment, you jogged down.
It's
didn't
more
you?
like I've sort of, in terms of my fashion stakes, gone very don't really care. Like wear what I want to wear what I feel comfortable in, you know, rather than just suit, tie.
I think you always wear what you're comfortable
but this
in.
is
Go on,
just-
give us a twirl. Then. Come on,
I can't do it to her.
Can't do it on
Not
this
like
carpet.
you.
Not on this carpet. No.
Excited to see AJ back.
Well, in New York that you did at AJ's American debut,
MJ.
remember?
Yeah, with the MJ as well.
Yeah.
Excited to see AJ back, Gareth.
Oh, absolutely, of course. Eddie gave me some brilliant quotes for a piece in the Telegraph tomorrow about the rebuilding or restructuring of Anthony Joshua, as did his team, Andy Bell, Freddie Cunningham, Derek James, Fraser Clark spoke to me about it. As you've said, it's not really a rebuild, it's a shift in momentum. And I think, look, we're all big critics of AJ, but we all would love to see him have a shift in momentum. He's very important to the world and British boxing scene. Of course we're excited. This is a red carpet event. Joshua is a massive draw, and if he wins on Saturday night, as Eddie's already outlined, with Usyk and Fury falling through, who knows what might happen this summer?
I think it's a time to make that fight.
I completely agree with you.
Sometimes things just come together, you know, and I think it's one to work away in the background and see if it's got legs. But like when you think of Fury's options, they're very limited in terms of the money he wants to make.
Weirdly, it's the biggest fight in the world.
Not
isn't
limited,
it?
but
It's
in
the
terms
biggest
of
fight in
making the
world.
money he wants to make.
It's a £100 million fight, I believe. You know the details. It's a £100 million fight if it happens in Saudi Arabia, and it's probably the biggest ever pay-per-view we'd ever get in our lifetime at Wembley Stadium, frankly. You know, you could talk about 2.5 million pay-per-views for it. It is an enormous fight. It's a generational fight. It's one that we will regret never happened. Don't listen to Fury saying, "Oh, I'd never fight him." It's nonsense.
He's got to win on
Absolute
Saturday
nonsense.
first.
But he's got to win on Saturday first. I know you're a bit nervous, but
I just said to him, and genuinely, we'll post the pictures tonight. Franklin just came in for the photo shoot.
I've just seen him downstairs.
Yeah. Everything. Like, and I'm thinking, when you boxed him, he had a nice little belly. You know, now he turns up. You know, I beat age like that. It's just the motivation and the carrot dangling when you fight Anthony Joshua is just huge.
He's just having a little bite to eat downstairs, and just had a little hello with him. I had an interview with him for Talk Sport the other day, and you know, against AJ, he's been studying the Ruiz fight. He's going to shove the Ruiz fight down his throat this week. He is a smaller guy. He has got good hands. He likes to exchange. There is jeopardy in this fight, even though when we spoke to you and AJ last week on the Zoom after he just arrived here, AJ looks in great shape as well, and he was talking about the great things he's done under Derek James. We wish him well on Saturday night. It's going to be a great week. You asked me to jump in here before everyone says
Just a views game, Gareth. I will catch up with you one-on-one. I look forward to it.
Changed when we see you later on.
Yeah, mate. All right, steady.
Cheeky.
To see my rig. Men's health
here
coming
for
soon. Big announcement this week.
Is that me following? Am I going to be like the little sequel to Men's Health? No, okay. Eddie, Lawrence Okolie at the weekend. Your thoughts?
Look, I'm not. I've seen the comments. People were messaging me throughout the fight. I didn't see anything different to what I've seen most of his career. He's very difficult to beat. You know, it's a style that's sometimes frustrating. Punches very hard. You know, but I'm not going to stick the night. Like, there's enough comments out there. I wish him all the best.
Alen Babic has come out and said he feels betrayed. He said he wasn't expecting any.
Yeah, betrayed. We lost the purse bid. I just can't. You know, it's not. It's a business, and I love Alen Babic. You know, but we bid what we believe was the value of the fight. By the way, the fact that we bid was only two bidders. The Polish promotional company and us. If we hadn't have turned up and bid, they could have bid 50,000. Do you know what I mean? So we drove that bid to the value as it was. He's making good money for that fight. So I would have loved to do it on our show, but unfortunately we lost the purse bid.
Finally from me, I said I'd ask you Monday. Do you know any more about Tank Garcia DAZN in the UK?
No.
Okay, and also it's come out saying $85 pay-per-view price point. Will that be for DAZN and PBC sharing the same price?
I believe so. It's not my show.
Eduardinho, my man. Thank you, brother.
Thanks.